Gorillas are out patrolling looking for the humanoids. General Urkel is planning a big attack on the caves where they live. In those caves, Bill and Jeff are being rather antisocial, aren't they?
The humanoids have got to be helped, Bill. They're nothing but easy prey for the gorillas.
But the caves do offer some protection.
Some, but not enough. You saw what happened at the last attack. The humanoids weren't able to offer even the slightest resistance.
Well, we're just going to have to teach them to make better use of their terrain.
Or maybe move them.
His reasoning is all the terrain around here is fairly flat and useless for defense. But they don't know what else is out there. There could be a place that these folks could build some bulwarks, ramparts, and all those other funny words to protect themselves from the apes. All they need is some kind of an idea where such a place might be. Yeah, that's all.
You know those chimpanzee scientists you told me about?
Zira and Cornelius, sure.
They would know the geography of this place. If there is a safer location, they could tell us. It would save us weeks, maybe months of exploring.
But we'd have to sneak back into Ape City and try to locate their laboratory. And why would they help us anyway?
Well, they helped you escape, didn't they? Maybe we can convince them to help the humanoids. Do you think you could find their laboratory again?
Maybe, but it won't be easy.
All they have to do is sneak past 100 patrols and go back into the most dangerous place they've found. Yeah, that's all. A hay truck is coming along and they'll hide in it all the way to town. Along the way, they get to listen to the radio.
Never thought that I'd be acting humanoid. That ain't the simian thing to do. Humanoids go frantic when before things get romantic. Now I'm going humanoid over you. Homo sapiens go plumb bananas. Every spring just watch them in the zoo. Apes would never, ever match their minds together. But when you're near, that's all I want to do. I guess it's love that I'm feeling. Yes, and love's got me reeling. I've a funny feeling you feel that way too. It's a fact this ape is acting humanoid. That sounds impossible, but it's true. If I thought that you enjoyed, I'd stop trying to avoid it. I'm going humanoid over you. I'm going humanoid over you. I'm going humanoid over you. I'm going humanoid over you.
Gorilla Bluegrass. Yeehaw! I hope I'm able to get away with playing that whole song because it's just too funny. Nobody really says it anymore, but the expression going ape used to be common. The reversal is a nice gag. One of my gripes with the whole Planet of the Apes thing from beginning to end is the way they have to say ape this, ape that, the gorilla something else, chimpanzee this, that, and the other thing. Humans never went around saying human this, human that, Scandahoovian something else, Hinggadorian, yada yada. In the backs of our minds, we know they're Scandahoovian and Hinggadorian, but there's no good reason to state it explicitly every time we mention them. The apes seem to take pride in the separation of their races and the conflicts that arise from doing that. The humanoids all work together and don't pay any attention to superficial differences. Guess who's still superior even without the ability to speak? In the city, it's pretty harrowing because there are patrols everywhere looking for Bill. Nobody knows about Jeff yet. They freaked out when they saw Bill had blue eyes. I have to wonder how badly they'll go humanoid when they see Jeff.
Are we anywhere near the laboratory?
I think it's closer to the center of the city.
It's clever of them to disguise themselves as colorful billboards. The gorillas won't suspect a thing. If you guys tie your torsos together, you could pass as a racehorse. More patrols are coming and they have to duck into the sewers. Gentlemen, I suggest you keep moving. But I don't recommend walking backwards. When you do, that can happen. Bill finds a piece of an old tin can and cuts them loose. Onward and away from that thing.
We're safe, for the time being.
That sure was a close call. Anything around here look familiar?
The arch. I recognize it. And there's the laboratory.
They came out right next to it.
Isn't that convenient?
In the lab, Zira is sure that Zaius knows they helped Blue Eyes escape. She's afraid of what's going to happen to them, but she's not sorry she did it.
I only hope Zeus doesn't... Blue Eyes!
Elsewhere, Urko is preparing a 4-pronged attack on the humanoids.
Excellent strategy, General. A perfect plan of attack.
I agree, even if I devised the entire operation myself.
When do we spring the attack, General?
In 6 days, then I get my revenge against those humanoid beasts.
Revenge for what? What did they do to him? What could they do to him?
You caused quite a commotion, you know.
Yes, I know.
Why have you and your companion risked coming back here? You know how dangerous it is.
To thank you for saving my life, and to ask a favor.
We don't get to see their reaction to a dark-skinned talking humanoid. Oh well. Cornelius has heard of a valley about 90 miles away that could provide the humanoids with a home, but nobody has ever explored it because getting to it is... nobody's been able to do it so far. He only knows about it because he found it on an old map.
I could make a copy of the map and take you out to a mountain range that runs in its general direction.
It seems that when the apes took over, they lost a lot of technology. One of those bits of technology was apparently copy machines, because the way he's talking, he'll have to do it by hand. Or whatever apes call it.
Who in the world could that be, Cornelius?
Cornelius. Zira, are you there?
It's Dr. Zaius.
Bill and Jeff hide behind a table while they get rid of him. He wants their help figuring out how to capture Blue Eyes.
I want you to prepare a report on every aspect of the humanoid's behavior patterns. Where is he most likely to hide? Where would he go for his food? How fast could he travel? Give us a detailed description of your Blue Eyes.
Zira says we didn't have him for very long, so I can't give you much, but we'll do what we can. That bubbling flask will fall off, but they'll explain it away and Zaius will leave. This is one of those shows that has to use every cliche out there to fill the runtime. I see no reason to dwell on any of them. Next morning, Cornelius takes them to the mountain range he mentioned and gives them the map.
It sure is far enough away, but how do we get there?
It will not be easy.
Where are the caves of the humanoids from here, Cornelius?
They also lie south, about 15 miles.
What's the best way to get there?
There are 2 ways, both of which are treacherous. There is the mountain route, which is continuously patrolled by guerrilla army units.
And the second way?
According to the map, there is an underground river which runs through the rear of this cave. The river also flows south beneath the mountain range.
Bill likes the mountain route, Jeff prefers the river. They're a bit like the married couple where one wants to go to the mountains and the other wants to go to the beach. But they won't have time to discuss it.
The Guerrilla Desert Patrol.
We've got to get out of here. But which way?
The decision's been made for us. The underground river is our only chance.
Here's the map I've prepared. Take it and go quickly.
Be careful to keep it dry because I used water-based ink. They're riding on a big board, no way to steer or propel themselves, at the mercy of the river. I'm not sure how much good the map is going to be under those conditions.
What are you doing here?
Working.
What kind of work?
I'm an archaeologist.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
I study the past in order to learn how we became what we are.
Well, anyway, this area is restricted. Do you have clearance to be here?
Certainly.
What's that noise inside the cave?
There's an underground river inside.
Is that so? Well, I think I'll have a look around.
Yeah, that's a river, all right. I can tell 'cause it has water in it. His next question?
Well, which way did it go, George? Which way did it go?
Nobody with Blue Eyes here, so he'll be on his way. Guys who use big words aren't suspicious.
Well, Zira, tell me, is the report on the humanoid completed?
Not as yet, sir, but I assure you it soon will be.
Good, good. By the way, where is Cornelius?
At one of his desert digging sites.
Digging site? I told him the report had priority over everything.
Tell him Cornelius remembered something he saw out there that could be useful in the report. He's gathering the information Zaius wanted.
And besides, aren't these his tools?
Well, he actually didn't go to dig.
Then what did he go there for?
He wanted quiet and solitude to think about the report.
That's kind of lame, isn't it?
I see. Well, when Cornelius returns, tell him of my visit.
But Zaius is buying it. Good enough. In the river, the guys are swept over the obligatory waterfall, and eventually they emerge into the light.
We made it, Bill.
Look, the caves of the humanoids.
We're home.
So the whole episode was pointless, and you're right back where you started.
You know, Bill, if we do get to this valley, we ought to have our laser drill.
That's gonna be a problem. Still aboard the spaceship in that lake where we splashed down.
Maybe we could get Nova to guide us back there. We could dive for it.
We heard that same thing 2 episodes ago. How deep is it? What's the visibility like? How long can you hold your breath? Will we ever actually do this, or will we spend the next 9 episodes continuing to talk about it? These are important questions.
Something's up. Cornelius wouldn't be in the desert without his tools. I have a feeling the humanoid beast just might be in the area. Double the patrols immediately and place the entire army on emergency alert.
That's our ha-ha cliffhanger. This episode suffers from the same thing the others do, insufficient story. It's easy to see that we have the overall storyline all mapped out, but it's not big enough. Because it's not big enough, we have to restrict how much of it we put into an individual episode. The result is episodes that are a good 65% padding and filler. Young viewers don't like padding and filler because nothing happens. They're boring. And if something does happen, like going over the waterfall, it has no effect on the story, the characters, or anything else. It's there to fill runtime. We have a decent storyline going. It's the kind that could hold someone's interest if it moves along at a decent pace. This doesn't. It needs to be bigger. It needs consequences of characters' actions. Again, the waterfall. They came out of that without a scratch. It would be more believable, and could do some cool things with the storyline, if one of them came out with a broken arm or leg, something that restricted their movements and their ability to do certain things. Nothing phases these guys. By the end of every episode, they're just fine, and that's hard to accept. The first time they found the caves, they were able to join the humanoids with no problems. Give them some! Make the humanoids more suspicious, maybe even a tad hostile. You could fill an episode just with that encounter. If you want to conclude it with the humanoids accepting them, cool. But make it a little harder to get to that point. This is what I mean when I say the storyline isn't big enough. Many things are way too easy and don't affect the heroes, the gorillas, or anybody else. They just happen and everybody goes, oh yeah, that happened. You can't build a successful series on that. You can, however, build a great TV fails for me to make fun of. I do thank you for that. from beginning to end. Baba. The whole planet of the apes. Good God, David. God, man, I had it. Cornelius, I can say his name, were able to join the humanoids. Come on, David.